What's up guys, Cut Protagonist here, and today I'm going to do a deck profile on the Bal Sun Dragon deck from the brand new Climax booster, Dragon Fighter. So, with Triple D coming to an end, I find this the perfect time to do a review on our beloved Sun Dragon, Bal Dragon. So, this deck is amazing because it is the ultimate balance between aggressive attacks and defense. So, the reason why this deck is really aggressive because we have the Style of Impact Dragon Force, which allow us to do up to 20 damage with the perfect combos, which is not really difficult because combining Bal Dragon, Bal Soleil and the Dragon Force and an impact card, you'll be able to do 21 damage. So that is a lot, pretty much overkill, but if your opponent were to nullify some attacks, they're still dead because this deck is just so damn aggressive. And let's not forget that Dragon World has its infamous Dragon Shields, which is the ultimate defense in Buddyfight. Dragon Shields is very powerful because not only it nullifies an attack, it also gives you additional pluses such as additional life and gauge. So this actually makes Dragon World stand out among the other decks. So yeah, this deck will be focusing a lot on the Bal Dragon series and the Dragon Force. So let's get on to the deck profile and hope you guys enjoy. So first up, the buddy monster we play is Bal Soleil. Alright, to be honest, the better buddy would be Flat Fang Dragon because it is much easier to call. But for this deck profile, because I want a Bal to be my buddy, I'm going to be using Super Sun Dragon Bal Soleil. Super Sun Dragon Bal Soleil is one of the strongest size 3 monsters because of its 7/7 stats, which is really solid because 7k usually requires your opponent to link attack unless they are size 3. And let's not forget that if he has a card in his soul, it gains additional crit, which means he is a 3 crit monster. And any damage taken to you will be reduced by 1. So penetrate damage, thunder mine, any burn damage is reduced to 0 as long as, because they are reduced by 1. So it doesn't have the once per turn ability, so you'll be able to spam its ability. So if you're taking tons of thunder mine, you're not gonna take any of the damage thanks to Bal Soleil. So it's a very good buddy monster, but of course, I recommend you guys to use Flat Fang or just whatever buddy you want. Okay, so let's go on to the monster lineup. First up, we play 4 copies of Super Sun Dragon Bal Soleil, the ultimate life form. So basically, he's a triple world card. He's a combination of Star Dragon World, and Darkness Dragon World, the first of its kind. So his ability is Core Cost. Pay 2 gauge and put a monster on your field into this card. So usually what you want to do is you want to put your Bal and upgrade him into Super Sun Dragon Bal Soleil, his ultimate form, his true form basically. In the anime, I was actually quite surprised that Bal turned up, Baby Dragon Bal turned out to be a god, which is Super Sun Dragon. So if there's one or more cards in this card, so this card gains 1 crit, and any damage will be dealt to you will be reduced by 1, even battle damage. So if your opponent attacks you with a 2 crit monster, the damage reduced by 1. So most of the time, your opponent will most likely be going after Bal Soleil before going for a life. So Bal Soleil, even though it's at the side, is a very good monster because it lowers all damage done to you. So in a way, your opponent have to get rid of it first. A very powerful unit. And counter, and let's not forget his second skill, which obliterates any center-based decks such as Shadow Shades or Dual Seeker not so much. Dual Jaeger not so much because Dual Jaeger is able to nullify effects of destruction with no curve say. But Dual Seagull get destroyed by this because the counter ability just pays a single gauge and destroy a monster just like that. And you can use it many times in one turn because it doesn't say once per turn. Activate. You may pay 1 gauge if you do destroy a monster on your opponent's center. So if your opponent calls monsters to side, he is safe from his effect. But even so, if he has an open center, you can just swing for game easily with this card. So it's a very powerful size 3. 4 copies of Bal Soleil, Super Sun Dragon. Next up, 4 copy of the adorable Shining Sun Dragon Bal Dragon. He's from the secret pack, and he is one of the best Bals I've ever seen. Core Cost, pay 1 gauge and put the top card of the deck into this card soul. So you're getting additional soul so that you'll be able to be protected from removal. Because the irritating thing about unleashing your Dragon Force is you must have a Bal Dragon. So with stuff that like you chain to destroy, you won't be so vulnerable because you have an extra soul guard, so you gain additional life. When this card attacks for this turn, it gains its 5k power. So it's not only a 3k, it's an 8k tanky behemoth. Not say 8k tanky, I mean 8k offensive behemoth, which can go through any wall because 8k is pretty damn huge. Even if your opponent has a Bal Soleil, you can go through. And he also has Penetrate, so it can take down walls easily. A very, very amazing card. And he also has additional skill. So this one single card has so much great benefits with it, making him a secret worthy card. At the beginning of your final phase, put the top card of the deck into your gauge. So yeah, a few more gauge for your final turn or your final phase, because you'll be able to unleash impacts really quickly with this deck. So 4 copies of Shining Sun Dragon, Bal Dragon. Another size 2 we play is 4 copies of Swordsman of the Moon's Bal Dragon. Swordsman of the Sun. The sleeves kind of cover up. So Swordsman of the Sun, Bal Dragon. So here's a samurai version of Bal Dragon. A very good card if you're playing a very soul base heavy deck, playing against that, because when this card is caught to the field, you can put a soul of a monster on your opponent's field into his drop zone. So one soul means you're losing a life. So it's a very, very good effect. Core cost pay 1 gauge. 6/2/4 stats, definitely not bad because 6k can run over many monsters. So another effect it has is when this card link attacks, destroy a monster on your opponent's field. Now this deck actually plays Bal Saber, so you'll be linking a lot of time, and getting a +1, giving your opponent a -1 when you link attack is just pretty damn good. So this is our size 2 lineups, our Bal Dragons. So I'm gonna put one side. Next up, our size 1s, 4 copy of the Secret Pack, a Shake Hand Dragon. I don't know why it's called Shake Hand Dragon. It sounds weird, but it has a very, very good skill. When a card on your field stands by an effect of your card, put the top card of the deck into your gauge, charge 1 gauge, or draw a card. So this ability activates once per turn. So even if you have 2 copies of it, you can, like, if your let's say your impact, your star impact restands, you can draw 2 cards. Pretty dang good because it gives you additional pluses, and this deck restands a lot because of the fact that you play Bal Saber as well. Bal Saber is a resetting weapon when you link attack, so you will be getting lots of pluses with him. So and if you manage to pull off his skill once, it is you already gain a +1. It's a very, very good monster. It's a size 1. And let's not forget one of the best size 1 in Sun Dragons, Flare Fang Dragon. Flare Gift, when this card enters the field and you have another Sun Dragon on your field, so another Sun Dragon could include weapons. So even if you have no monster on the field and you already equip a weapon, as long as you have a Sun Dragon on the field, the Sun Dragon attribute on the field, you can draw 1 card and charge 1 gauge. Charge and draw. Yeah, you can charge 1 and then draw 1. Flare Gift only activates on the turn. The effect says Flare Gift, so you cannot call another Flare Fang to activate one anymore because it already says Flare Gift. So all Flare Gifts cannot be activated. Yeah. And 2 copies of size 0, Flare Fang as the adorable version of Flare Fang Dragon. A very powerful card. When this card can be caught to the center, so you can only call it to the left and right. A size 0 monster, 2/1/1 stats. It's not really there for the beatdown, but of course the extra 1 crit is nice. During your turn, when a monster on your opponent's field will be destroyed by battle or by effects, you can draw 1 card, so give you additional pluses. Since this deck destroys a lot with Bal Soleil, you will be drawing additional cards, which is nice. That's our smaller monster lineup. Now let's go on to our spells. The spells we play is the standard 12 shields. The reason why I play 12 shields in this deck is because I'm playing an open center deck. So your guard formation will usually you leave your center wide open. So it's very important to equip yourself with Dragon Shields. So Sun Dragon Shield, the Secret Pack version, very nice because it is Gao in his Dragon Force. You may only cast a card on an attack during your opponent's turn, and if you have a monster and you do not have a monster in the center, and you have a Sun Dragon on the field. So another thing to note, yes, Sun Dragons include weapons. So as long as you have weapon equipped, you can cast this card. All you need is just have a Sun Dragon on the field. Counter, nullify the attack and put the top card of the deck into your gauge and gain 1 life. So it's a combination of Blue Dragon Shield and Green Dragon Shield. Charge and heal. And if you have 2 or more Sun Dragons on your field, this card cannot be nullified. So even if your opponent want to use spell nullifies when you have a full field, it can't be used because this card can't be nullified. 4 copies of Blue Dragon Shield, basic guard with additional gauge. 4 copies of Green Dragon Shield, basic guards with additional healing. Very, very good card, saves lives. Alright, so let's go on to a bit of draw engine. Very interesting draw engine is 4 copies of Sky Dragon Divinity. So the reason why this card is actually quite important in this deck is because this deck is a really, really aggressive deck, and honestly this deck doesn't go past turn 4 because by then your opponent is pretty much dead. Alright, the reason why this card is actually quite useful in this deck is because its cost is pay 1 gauge and pay 1 life. So at the cost of pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life, you return 3 cards to the bottom of the deck and you can draw 2 cards. Alright, the reason why this card is actually good because it helps you go into your Dragon Force range. Sometimes I like to take and guard until I left 7 life. During my turn, I use this, draw some additional cards to my hand, and unleash the Dragon Force. So, extra draw power in the early game. Late game, it won't be useful because if you have too much drop zone, you won't be able to cast this. You can only cast if 10 or less cards in your drop zone. It doesn't matter actually. Early game, you draw it, it gives you additional pluses, and that's what it all matters. 2 copies of Sun in Darkness, so you can't see the name. So it's a cute art of Bao. Bao looking evil. It's a dual world card. Sun Dragon, the Black Dragon. So it is Darkness Dragon World and Dragon World. You may only cast this card if you have a Sun Dragon or Black Dragon attribute on your field. So this deck is a completely Sun Dragon deck. Draw a card. Then, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in the drop zone, if you or your opponent has 8 or more cards in the drop zone, you can charge 1 gauge. So basically, it's just a card that to speed through your deck and gives you additional gauge. So it's kind of like a charge and draw late game. But otherwise, early game, you can always use it to turbo through your deck. You need some cards. Hopefully, you can draw into it. Just draw 1 card. Right? That is our spells. Let's go on to our weapons, which is my favorite because it's 4 copies of Dragon Force Style of Impact. So this is the brand new card from the Secret Pack. Gao reaches his final form with his Dragon Force. Alright, release condition. You have 6 life or less, and you have a monster with Bao Dragon or Bao Soleil on your field. So it is very easy to get into them because I play lots of Bao Soleils and Bao. So the only problem is getting to 6 life, which is not very hard to be honest, because if you're going first, you just equip you just call a Bao Dragon to your side, charge a free gauge once at the end of your final phase, and maybe take damage until you left 6. A little bit of risky play, but when you unleash the Dragon Force, you are unstoppable because there's so much damage that can be done with this deck. I'll be showing you how you can do some sweet combos with this deck, okay? So, you have Bao Dragon or Bao Soleil on the field. Equip cost, pay 2 gauge. He has a very solid 5k and 3 crit. At the beginning of your final phase, stand this card, and for this turn, this item gains additional 1 crit. So, after attack during a battle phase, final phase, restand, gain 1 crit. It's not a 4 crit beast. This card on the field cannot be destroyed nor returned to your hand, and this ability cannot be nullified. So even if you're fighting against Frozen Stars, your additional aggressive attacks will not be nullified. Very, very powerful. So yeah, 4 copies of Dragon Force because it is the main goal of the deck. It's not hard to go in. You just need to guard tactically. Right? Next up, the backup weapons we play is 4 copies of Bao Saber. Bao Saber is a sort of very powerful card. Equip cost, pay 1 gauge. When this card links attack with another Sun Dragon for this turn, it gets double attack. This card gains double attack. So just link with your Bao Dragon, and you can restand and attack 1 more time. So it's great because it's literally a 4 crit weapon. Very, very powerful weapon. But alright, the reason why I play 7 weapons is depending on what weapon I have in my opening hand, I'll go into which one. So if I have Bao Saber, I'll just go Bao Saber throughout the whole game. Because either way, it is still gonna do a lot of damage because it's a restanding weapon. Alright? So let's go on to impacts. We play 3 copies of Bao Dragon Bao Weapon combination. One of the strongest impacts in this deck because you are able to restand your weapon and give the weapon additional crit. So core cost, pay 3 gauge and put this card on top of a Sun Dragon monster on your field. It has a Soul Guard, so it won't be taken out so easily. When this card enters the field, stand a Sun Dragon item on your field, and for that turn, the item can attack during your final phase. So when this card links attack with another Sun Dragon item for this turn, that item and this card gains and penetrate an additional 1 crit. So imagine this. Alright, attack with 4 crits during final phase. Hisatsuko! So you can restand the weapon and it becomes 5 crit. And this is like probably 2 crit. Link attack. 5 crit. 5 crit plus 3 crit. That's 8 crits in total. For 1 single attack. Your opponents, if even your opponent got early, they are gonna get destroyed by 8 crit of damage. And let's not forget, we still have monsters that attack in the earlier game. So how do I do the 21k combo, if you say? 22k if it's possible. Alright? Bao Soleil with Soul. Dragon Force. Just like that, alright? So attack, 3 crits. 3 crits. 3 crits. That's 9 damage. 1 crit, 10 damage. Alright, even your opponent have a center, alright, I just bomb away with my Bal Soleil, because Bal Soleil just pay 1 gauge to destroy any card in the center. So most likely your opponent's center is going to be open. So that is total of 10 damage. Then final phase, restand. It gains 1 crit, so it's now 4 crit. That's 14 damage. Impact Core. So you put on top of Bal Soleil, so you get additional Soul Guard as well. Impact Core, restand. So that is 14 plus additional 8 crit. So that's 22 damage, just like that. That is insane. And okay, even if you don't get Impact Core, it's an average of 3, 3, 9, 12 damage. 12 damage per turn. So this is a very aggressive deck. And we of course for defense we have our Dragon Shields. So most likely your field is not gonna get destroyed that easily. So yeah, this is a very fun deck to play. I find it very aggressive. If you guys are hot-headed, I love to rush. This deck is just the perfect deck for you. So I hope you guys enjoy my deck perform on the Bal Dragon deck from the brand new Climax booster, Dragon Fighters. If you like more Buddyfight deck performance, be sure to like this video and subscribe. I'll see you next time and keep on buddy fighting. Bye!